Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I am Adrian.
And I am Rob.
Today we're going to be talking about Capone. So Capone is written and directed by Josh Trank, and it stars Tom Hardy and Linda Cardellini. Tom Hardy plays Al Capone in his later days, who's kind of living off his last year of his life in Florida and suffering from dementia. But there's a rumor of hidden cash that he's got stored away, and so people are trying to find it. And so the story kind of takes off from there. Rob, why don't we jump into it? What are your thoughts on this film?
Well, Adrian, the movie that this movie is, I was not expecting. I was kind of expecting the typical, Capone gangster movie. And it's not. It's very much it delves into his his last year of his life, and you see I don't know how else to put it, but like the mental crushing of someone as far as, all the illnesses that start to take place in his life. And I was not expecting that kind of movie. So I have like, I guess, good and bad to go with it. I feel like Tom Hardy did a really good job, but a negative thing about it is also the way he speaks, as far as when he's talking, like, as Capone. It's just it's very guttural, and you really have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to what he's saying and kind of, pick it out, try to pick up on all the words he's saying. But
sounds like he's just kind of mumbling and groveling.
Yeah, it does sound like he's kind of mumbling.
What did he say? Yeah.
But the actress that plays his wife, it was
Linda Cardellini.
Yes. I feel like those two like played well off each other. I honestly feel like you see more of her range, I guess, just because she's having to deal with the aftermath of what's going on, as far as when he starts to decline in his health. And I just think she did a really good job in playing the wife of someone who has to deal with this. So I feel like the acting was good, but the negative thing I do have to say about it is I feel like the story is very confusing. Just there's times in this movie where I'm just like, wait, what's going on? Wait, what happened here? What happened there? And it's a little distracting. So I don't know. It kind of affected me a little negatively when we came to like just my overall thoughts of the movie. What did you feel, Adrian?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of things you're saying. But one of the things is, Tom Hardy did stand out with his work, although he was a bit over the top at times. But you could tell he was just kind of really going for it with the role he was all in, and you can appreciate that from an actor.
Yes.
Like what you said with Linda Cardellini, she gave a really good performance, a heartfelt performance as a wife who's dealing with her husband's illness, and but yeah, like that's the biggest problem with this film is the story. It's like, I don't know what Trank was trying to say. There was like no clear direction. There's weird parts where you have like these, like he's having like these vision, like flashbacks, and and it's very, kind of like, okay, well, I get it. Like, if you wanted to make a story about Capone's illness, let it be about that and kind of focus a little bit more on that. But it was just like, but I don't know. It's like, it was like, what's even going, like what you said, it's like, what's even going on here? It was like, there's like weird scenes where like, he's like in the middle of the street watching people get shot up, and like he's kind of crawling, and it was just like, okay, but like, what's the point of all of this? And I think, I don't even know if Josh Trank knew what the point was. He just kind of wrote it, and so that's the most disappointing thing. And I think, watching the trailer, you didn't really, and even reading the synopsis, it almost sounded like, I don't want to say like a heist film, but it sounded like people were going to be like constantly trying to get at that hidden money where they didn't know where it was. And it wasn't even really fully about that. There was moments about that, but it wasn't like, so it was like, what's even going on here? So it's like, and I think the reason why the studio changed the name from, because it was originally supposed to be Fonzo, and then they changed it to
Okay.
the name that they call him in the movie,
Yeah,
and then they
Capone.
changed it to
I mean,
Capone. I think the reason why was because they knew the film that they had probably wasn't that great, so let's try to gather as much interest by putting the name of probably the most famous gangster of all time, Al
yeah,
Capone, throwing the names and get people to watch it. But ultimately, this movie really struggles to say anything and have anything. It's like it's difficult to watch. Really, it
it,
really is. I
it,
was like, I had a hard time getting through it. Like I really did. Like I was like, do I want to shut this off now? It's 140. It's like it's not 100. It's an hour and 40 minutes,
yeah.
and
It felt
and
like
that's not a long
it was
time by
like
any
2 hours. It
means.
felt like it was two
But it
hours.
felt like almost 2.5 hours. It
Yeah,
was just like, are you kidding me? Like, and it's like, yeah, it's I've seen films where people are struggling through like either mental illness or physical illness, and that can be difficult to watch too. But kind of like, but there's a strong performance behind it and a strong story.
yeah.
Here, it was just like it's just difficult to watch because it's almost like uncomfortable, and it's
It
just
is.
like I couldn't. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like
The only thing I could think of that I was thinking throughout the movie is because I took me, I think I sat down to watch this movie, I want to say 4 times, and I just like was like, okay, I need to take a break because I don't know what's going on. And the only thing I could think of is maybe the director was trying to show you what it's like for someone who has this condition and what they
yeah,
go through in their mind. And that's why I was just like, okay, I understand what they're doing. I just feel like the delivery
and
didn't
yeah, and
land.
I honestly feel like I felt the same way. Like it felt like okay, he's trying to show what it's like to struggle
Yeah,
with this, but without doing any research.
yeah,
You know, like usually when you get films, you can tell they're very very well researched. They're very well like they spend their time, kind of, and then bringing that part out, and then also
yeah.
showing the suffering of like the family members as well and what they have to deal with. But here it's just kind of like like what's even
Yeah,
going on here,
it's very all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, Rob, with all that being said, I think I know where you're going, but will you get off the fence for this film and will you recommend it to our
Adrian,
audiences here?
unfortunately, I'm a huge fan of Tom Hardy, but unfortunately, even with the amazing acting that he did in this movie, I'm gonna have to say I'm going to stay on the fence because yeah, a lot of times I was taken out of the movie, and like I said, I had to stop the movie a few times just to kind of
Yeah.
gather my bearings. So I'm gonna stay on the fence with this one. What about you, Adrian?
I am gonna say stay on the fence and maybe watch something else. Because yeah, this was very difficult to watch, and
Yeah, watch The
it's not
Godfather or
really,
something.
to me personally, it's not worth your rental dollars, and especially
Yeah.
whatever they're charging right now to rent the film. I don't think it's worth that.
I believe it was 20. I think it was like $20 to rent.
Yeah. So
So
and it's not,
yeah.
it's not worth that. I think you're better off watching other films that kind of deal with either like a physical illness or mental illness and kind of have like some more in depth. But here it's
Yeah.
just kind of it's very shallow,
Yes,
and
it
I
is.
I can't recommend it to anybody really. Well, guys, why don't you comment down below and let us know what you thought of Capone? Did you like it, or do you have a different opinion of the film? Also, don't forget to click like, subscribe, share. Also, follow us on Instagram at On the Fence Movie Reviews for behind the scenes content and just random stuff that we kind of post there on the page. And yeah, follow us there.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.